treatment. Portugal has one of the best treatment programs in the world. And they also have the lowest overdose rate in the world when it comes to addiction. He said something magnificent at the conference a couple of days ago. He said Portugal is content with their treatment models and their process in finding treatment for those that have substance use disorder. Judy and the BC province, we need to get there too, where we can say that we are comfortable with our policies. So I'm going to give the microphone to Dr. Goulao for a few seconds.
Thank you, Giuseppe. Hello, everybody. It's a pleasure and an honor to participate in this party, this big parade, and I wish you all the best. I believe that you have all the means that you need to deal with the crisis that you have in front of you. You only need to better coordinate everything that you have, and there is room for every kind of responses. The treatment of drug addiction is a continuum, and you need all that kind of responses. I believe after listening to the inspiring speech of your new minister at the conference, I believe that the plan that she presented will be successful, and I wish that it happens. So all the best for you and for your team. All the best to all the organizations that work in this field. Thank you. It was a real honor and a pleasure to participate in this conference and in this moment right now. Thank you.
I now introduce our first Minister of Mental Health and Addictions, Judy Darcy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and welcome to Recovery Festival New Westminster. And look at the turnout, but despite the rain that's come before and is probably coming afterwards. I am so proud to really welcome you in two ways. As the MLA for New Westminster, very proudly, the recovery capital of Western Canada. Let's hear it for that. And I'm especially proud this year to be here as the first Minister for Mental Health and Addictions in British Columbia, and the first one in all of Canada. And I want to begin by saying how wonderful it is to join with you in celebrating recovery, because that's really what this festival is all about. And all of you both in your personal lives, in the lives of your loved ones, or in the work that you do every day in the recovery community, we have so much to thank you for. We have so much to be grateful for. We know that recovery is a lifelong journey, and the people who are gathered here today are saying it is possible, and we celebrate all of you today. We celebrate all of you today. We're also here at a recovery festival at a time when our province is living through the worst public health emergency in decades, and we are losing 4 people a day to overdose. And those people are not statistics. Those people are our brothers and our sisters and our fathers and our loved ones. They are people from all walks of life. They are people who may have been addicted for many years, and they're people who may be occasional drug users, but they're not statistics. They're people we love. They're people whose families, loved ones, whose friends love them, and for whom this is heartbreaking. We do know that the people who are dying of overdose are mainly men between the ages of 30 and 59. We know that they come from all corners of the province and all walks of life. And we also know that they're mainly dying alone. They're using alone and they're dying alone. So while we celebrate recovery, this is also a day to say that as a community and as a province, we need to do everything we can to save lives in this overdose crisis, and we need to make it an all-province effort, all hands on deck to save lives, because my friends, unless we save lives, we can't get people to treatment or to recovery. So these are really approaches that need to go hand in hand. And as the new minister, my task is to lead our response to the overdose crisis to save lives, but it's also to do, and I was so inspired by our special guest from Portugal at a conference the other day about the amazing things they've done in that country, because what they've said is it's time to stop treating addiction as a criminal issue and treat it instead as a health issue, a chronic health condition that takes an entire community to support people. And I know we've talked a lot about stigma, and in the work that you do, you both, in the lives you live, you've both experienced stigma and you're working to overcome stigma. And my friends, we need to say over and over again, addiction is not a moral failing. Addiction is not a moral failing. The failure is if we don't give support to people with addictions so that they can get on a pathway to healing. And the other thing I think that's important for us to also say loudly and clearly is that if stigma and ostracizing people with addictions was the answer, British Columbia would have been clean and sober 500 times over a long, long time ago. So we need to work together, all of us, to overcome stigma, to provide treatment options, and to build a system, just like if you break your leg, you know where to go for help. If you're living with addictions, you need to be in a position that we have a system where you ask for help once and you get help fast. That's the goal of the Ministry of Mental Health and Addictions. That's the goal of our government. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a community. It's going to take an entire province, and it's going to take all of us working together. But today we celebrate recovery, and today we commit ourselves to building a better system for mental health and addictions in the province of British Columbia. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you. I'm going to pass this on to Lorinda. Judy, this is our proclamation that we had, and I wanted someone to have a moment to read it. Lorinda, if you can take a moment.
Hi, my name's Lorinda, and I'm a person in long-term recovery. To all whom these presents shall come, greeting. Whereas the condition of addiction in its various forms creates a tremendous burden to individuals, families, and communities in the province of British Columbia. And whereas so many steadfast and courageous citizens over the years have come to understand their condition and moved on to lives of recovery. And whereas so many citizens have received treatment which, combined with their own efforts and the support of family and friends, have helped them to move on to lives of recovery. And whereas so many have found recovery from addiction and are engaged in positive relationships with themselves, their families, and those around them. Do you want to finish? Sure.
And those around them. And whereas these very same people say in union, I am in recovery from addiction, and I am all the stronger and happier and more richly fulfilled as a person because of it. And whereas we choose to now celebrate our recovery and the recovery of those daughters, sons, brothers, and sisters beside us. And now we know ye that we do by these presents proclaim and declare that September 3rd to September 9th, 2017 shall be known as Recovery Week. In the province of British Columbia, in testimony whereof we have the cause of these our letters be made patent and the great seal of our province of British Columbia to be hereto unaffixed.
Thank you, Susan. And we're going to do a moment of silence in just a few minutes, but before we do that, the Recovery Day Committee, the Recovery Capital Committee that created the conference on Recovery Day, we have an Award of Excellence in Addiction Recovery presented to Dr. Goulao. In gratitude, we thank you for Recovery Week BC. Thank you for coming here, sharing your wisdom and your knowledge and your science that recovery is possible. Okay. It's a plaque, yes. It's for you. It doesn't weigh a lot. You can bring it on the plane. Yes, it's safe. So in gratitude, Judy, thank you very much. We're really excited to see what the new ministry is going to do, and we really have a lot of faith in what's going to happen. You can catch her presentation on Facebook, on the Recovery Capital Conference Facebook page, where she presented at the conference a couple of days ago. You can also catch Portugal's presentation if you go to Facebook Recovery Capital Conference, and you can see it there. And please go to the evidence booth to grab some shirts. And at the end of the day at 5 o'clock, we are taking a group photo with everyone in their evidence shirts if you wish. So at the end, after the last band at 5 o'clock, if you want to come here in your blue shirt, we have 2,000 of them to give away. Please come here so we can take a photo.
I'd like to ask you to join those of us on the stage in a moment of silence to those people that we have lost to overdose and addictions in the last year.